From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
Good morning and welcome to your statewide edition of Montana This Morning on this Wednesday, October 16th. I'm Augusta McDonnell here with Miller Robson. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. How you doing?
Doing good. We're doing good. It was really warm yesterday, but that's going to change this week, right?
Yeah, one more warm day today. Some of us our warmest day of the week, and then the bottom falls out as we have a cold front making its way through. It's going to cool those temperatures down, give us lower elevation rain, and maybe a hefty amount of mountain snow. So we have a lot of stuff to talk about this morning during the main forecast. As we wake up this morning, pretty quiet out there. Chilly to mild. We've got temperatures in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. And again, our last really warm day before all this kicks in. We've got winter weather advisories, winter storm warnings, winter weather or air quality alerts, all in effect as this system makes its way through. So we're going to talk totals, we're going to talk about the cool down, and will it affect the weekend coming up? We'll let you know in just a bit.
All right, Miller, thanks for tracking all those details. And our top story this morning, one new Montana family is now dealing with unimaginable loss. The Wright family recently moved to Park City from western North Carolina. 11 members of their family were killed during Hurricane Helene when a mudslide tore through their small town. Our Haley Monaco spoke with the Wrights about this loss and how the Montana community is stepping up to help.
Just utter devastation.
Brad and Carrie Wright's lives changed in a split second.
It just doesn't feel real.
3 weeks ago, torrential rains from Hurricane Helene caused a mudslide and flooding that tore through Brad's childhood homestead in Fairview, North Carolina, a place his family spent 80 years building up.
So I knew when the phone started ringing, and I just had that gut feeling. And to hear the stress and strain and fear in his voice, he said, my parents are missing.
A lingering hope that they had survived, but the more details that had came out, it was unfortunately leaning toward the more obvious that they weren't going to be able to survive something like that.
13 people were killed in the floods, 11 of them Brad's family members, including both his parents.
We had found remnants of my parents' house miles down the road. It was completely destroyed and broken apart.
It took 10 days to find all the bodies.
His mom was the furthest. His mom, to fathom driving from where their place once stood to 3 miles down the road where her body was found.
Now, just memories of the couple, 82-year-old Daniel and 81-year-old Evelyn Wright, are left behind.
And we love you. Bye-bye.
That's the sweetest voice.
They loved everybody. They loved on everybody that he could.
The Wrights, who moved to Park City less than a year ago, went back to North Carolina last week, digging through the debris.
Piles 20, 30 feet tall, and just things that were there at one point were totally gone, to the point where you're like, am I even standing in the right place?
And helping their family members who survived, while their Montana community rallied behind them.
I know it seems so far away, living here in Montana, but it's really not.
Carrie works here at the Carlton Depot, and when the owner found out what happened to the family, she knew she had to help in any way she can. So they're holding a fundraiser this Sunday from 11 to 4.
I just wanted to do something to make a difference for them, a difference for the help that they need out there. For an entire family of 11 to be wiped out is just devastating.
With raffles, games, and a silent auction, the proceeds will go to the Wrights as they help the family rebuild.
It's caring for the people that are left, caring for these families who have lost everything.
A family going through so much loss.
And it's going to be a long road, a long process.
In Park City, Haley Monaco, MTN News.
Haley, thank you so much for that story. MTN has received a fair number of reports from viewers about injured deer across the city of Missoula. That's why MTN's Caroline Weiss decided to look into this growing issue.
We have so many deer in town. You can't be anywhere in Missoula and not see deer, that's for sure.
For many in Missoula, deer have become a part of daily life.
Come into a herd of deer way up the top of Mount Jumbo and you can tell they're wild because they run away. Where urban deer just look at you and you get close enough to pet them sometimes.
But a wild species living within city limits creates a unique challenge.
A herd of urban deer is very different than a herd of wild deer.
While Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks oversees wild deer populations, urban deer are often left to run wild through town.
Years ago, before hunting restrictions were in place, there weren't a lot of deer around because they were hunted like year-round, 24/7. And so we've seen a huge increase in deer populations in our urban area where they're especially protected because there aren't, they're major predators in urban areas are probably automobiles.
Reactions to urban deer are also very different, especially if an animal is injured.
It's so tough. It is. That's our instinct, is we want to help. And I think the first thing to remember is that animals are amazingly resilient. A lot of times we see animals that look in pretty tough shape and they will pull through that.
As a wild species living within city limits, town deer are a management challenge. Currently, neither the city nor Fish, Wildlife, and Parks manage Missoula's urban deer population. FWP will help injured deer on a case-by-case basis in the city, such as tranquilizing to get antlers unstuck or euthanizing if needed. Some cities, like Helena, have asked FWP to step in, leading to population control methods like culling.
There's been a number of discussions throughout the years, and it's just never gotten to the point of actually taking the next step. And, maybe that'll happen one day, maybe it won't, but it's definitely something always on our radar. Lots of deer in town.
While talks about management have gone on for years, the first step would be determining which neighborhoods are the most problematic through a study contracted by City Council.
This is something a lot of communities have been trying to figure out, and it's something that Missoula needs to figure out.
Injured deer or carcasses that pose an immediate threat should be called in to 911. If it's not an emergency, injured deer can be reported to FWP online or over the phone. In Missoula, Caroline Weiss, MTN News.
Thank you, Caroline. After 14 seasons and nearly 300 episodes, the CBS hit series Blue Bloods is headed for the home stretch of its amazing run. Much of the New York City-based police family drama can be attributed to stars such as Tom Selleck, Donnie Wahlberg, and Bridget Moynihan. But the show also features an incredibly talented supporting cast, including Abigail Hawke, who plays the recurring role of Detective Abigail Baker. MTN's Tim McGonigal spoke with the Atlanta-born actor about her career, what makes Blue Bloods special, and what's next.
She doesn't judge a book by its cover, but she can.
You have a visitor.
She's got some great sarcasm and wit that she just keeps in her back pocket and zings when she needs to.
You know what this is about?
No, but he's already on his second cup of coffee.
Abigail Hawke describes her Blue Bloods character, Detective Abigail Baker, as the smartest person in the room. Her co-star, Tom Selleck, lovingly called her the mistress of subtext. After 14 years on the show, she says it's hard to believe it's coming to an end.
Obviously, it changed the trajectory of my life. It's weird to not be seeing my best friends every day. Super weird, but the overwhelming emotion that I'm feeling right now is gratitude that it happened.
Abigail says when she read the final episode, she sobbed, calling it a well-written, perfect ending. She says in addition to a great cast with great writing, the nostalgia for family dinner is what has kept Blue Bloods going strong for so long.
I think the Reagans truly making the time and carving it out to reconnect, to pause, and just get their feet out of the fire for a second is really, really important and a lesson that all of us can understand.
Abigail jokes that she sang before she could talk. Her career has included time in local theater and even starring alongside Ryan Seacrest in a show called Reality Check.
Boy, am I glad you guys found me. I'm going to need your help.
I was 12 and he was 19 and he had this perfect Zach Morris hair and I just, was so gaga-eyed about him. But he was so fun to work with. And
her post-Blue Bloods career includes starring in the independent film Daruma, about two unlikely people going on a journey of forgiveness and redemption. And what sets it apart is the two lead actors are disabled in real life. The second half of Blue Bloods' final season premieres Friday night on CBS.
You will shed a tear. I will leave it at that.
In Great Falls, Tim McGonigal, MTN News.